Hello YouTube, this is Pinpunch. This is my first video that I am using my voice on. And in this video I will be explaining trading in Roblox, how I was able to make this much in about 3 weeks of trading, roughly. So, the first thing which you need to know about is recent average price and value. Once I explain all this, I'll move on to my tactic, what I do. I will put timestamps in the description if you really want to skip this part. If you already know what recent average price is and what value is, you can skip this part. I'll move on to my tactic that I use later on. So, recent average price. Let's go over to this item real fast. So, this item right here, beautiful hair for beautiful space people. This is a very popular limited that is traded and sold very often. If you go on to Trade Hangout, for example, you'll see this item quite a lot. Like, quite a lot. So the recent average price for this item right now, as I make this video, is 4,313. This number obviously changes all the time because, you know, it sometimes goes up, it goes down, it goes all over the place. Here's the price chart for the last 30 days, for example. At one point, the recent average price was 3,372. At another, it spiked all the way to 4,600. It can go all over the place. So, that's recent average price. It's the amount of Robux that is on average sold for this item, like very recently. So the recent average price changes about once every day, roughly around there. And then value. Value is different than recent average price. Value is what traders will give you for this item, or should give you. So, it may seem confusing, but I'll explain. So this item right here has, you know, this recent average price, but its value is 7,000. What does that mean? Well, that doesn't mean you can sell the item for 7,000. That just means you can trade the item for 7,000 value. So, some items have the same recent average price and value, such as, let's go over to one of my limiteds real fast. So let's go over to the TV real fast. This is a pretty cheap limited, but recent average price is pretty low. Now, since the recent average price is so low, it gets sold and traded quite often. So this item, you know, it has a decent amount of demand, nothing special. Recent average price is 941. What is the value of this item? 941. Okay. In order to check recent average price and a value of an item, what you could do is you can go to one of these two sites. There's RBX City, and then there's Rollimans. I don't know how to pronounce that. What you can do, you can go to the catalog. You can search up an item. So let's search up TV, for example. TV. As you can see, the value is 941, and the recent average price is 941. Now let's search up this item, which I mentioned before. Beautiful. Beautiful hair for beautiful space people. As you can see, the value of it is 7,000. The recent average price, you know, as I mentioned before, 4,300. Now what does this mean? Well, as I mentioned, you could trade this item for 7,000 worth of value, but you can sell it for roughly around this much. Why is this the case? Well, let's say you have 4 different items that are worth the same amount as this beautiful hair for beautiful space people. Those 4 items sell for about the same amount as if you were to sell this once. Now, what out of those 2 selections, which one would you pick? Which one is more valuable? Having the 4 items that is worth the amount of this item, or just having this one item? The more valuable thing here is this item, because instead of having to sell the items, 4 different items, in order to gain the same amount of Robux as you would for this item, you could just sell this once, and there you go, you have your Robux. So, obviously, people want this item more than these items, for example, the ones that have recent average price and value that are the same. So, knowing that, I will now move on to my tactic. What do I do in order to make this much? And yeah, so first of all, I'll have to explain this. I know life this game pretty much. It's one of my favorite games, so I spend a lot of time on it. This, if you actually have a life, is probably, if you're like a low wrap trader, if you just started, this is probably not possible. If you're an experienced trader, you have a lot of money on your head, this is probably nothing. Like, you could make this pretty easily. But considering, let's say you are a new trader and you have a life, this you probably will not achieve in a month, but you will still make a profit. Now, how do I do this? So now I will now move on to my tactic. So let's look at some of my items real fast. I have these items right now. They're nothing special. I have a few items worth more value, like this. Then the rest of them is what I call wrap items. I don't know if other people call them this, but wrap items, which I call, have the same wrap and the same value as I mentioned. Like this TV, this is a wrap item. How can you abuse this in order to make wrap in value? Well, first of all, you need to go on to Trade Hangout, for example. This is a place a lot of people go, 200 people playing, all these people are traders. You go onto here, every single one of them is looking to trade. Now, you can also go onto the resellers list for an item, for example, like beautiful space people. Here you go, you have all these people, they have Builders Club, you can send them trades. Now, how can you abuse people that trade with wrap and people that trade with value? So, some people ignore value completely. Like, for example, they see this item, they see 3,000, it's worth 3,000. Once again, that's not the case. This item right here is worth 5,000. 5,000 value, that is. Not 5,000 wrap, like, necessarily. But this item is worth 5,000 value. Some wrap traders will say, no, this is 3,000 because the wrap is 3,000. So, how can you abuse that mindset? By using wrap items in order to, quote-unquote, scam them out of this item and then trade it off for its actual value. So, let me show you some examples real fast. Here I have a few screenshots of some of these that I completed. So let's start with the cheapest one, for example. So, as you can see, this is an item that, or this is a trade that I recently did. So, these are all wrap items. So these items, each and every one has a wrap that's the same as the value. So the recent average price is worth 4,000 and the value is worth 4,000. But this item, on the other hand, catching snowflakes, as I mentioned before, this has 5,000 value. But the recent average price of this is 3,181. So let's just say 3,000. So why is this trade good for me? Well, I gave him 4,000 value, but he gave me 5,000. Now, that's a 1,000 value win. But I still lost recent average price. So wouldn't I sell this for less than I would sell these for less? Yes. And that's where the trading comes in. Or, well, the second part of the trading, right? So, instead of selling this item, because obviously you lost one, like however much wrap that is, you would go on to Trade Hangout, once again, and you would find people with that trade value. So, people that trade value, people that have over 50,000 wrap usually, those are the people that will be trading value. And then there are, some people that have not much, that still trade value, those are the smart people. But you look for people that trade value, that is, sorry. So you find someone that trades value, and using that, you look at their items. What you're looking for is, once again, these types of items that I had here. Items that have the same wrap and the same value. I'll explain why later, but that's what you're looking for. So you're looking for items such as these that have the same wrap, the same value, worth about the same value as the wrap. So you find one of these people that trade value, do ask them, hey, are you willing to give me some of those good wrap items for this catching snowflakes? Now, demand of an item is, how much it gets sold. Like this item, for example, has a lot of demand. So what you're looking for is wrap items that have a lot of demand. So this is a perfect example. It has 18,000 wrap, and it has, 1800 wrap, and good demand, and good 1800 value. So as you can see, these are the types of items that you're looking for. So usually, if the person is willing to give me good wrap items that have a lot of demand, I would underpay for the catching snowflakes, which just means that I will give, instead of 5,000 value, I would give, I don't know, 4,900. But that's only if the items are actually good. Like if the items are complete garbage, like this item, for example, cool story, bro, this item is dreadful. You try to avoid these items at all costs. What are these items? They're low demand items. This has been sold 4 times this month. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 months, 7 times this month. That is dreadful. You do not want items like this because the chances of you trading these items off are pretty low. The reason I took this is because, usually wrap traders aren't the brightest, but some of them will still look at demand. So try to avoid these items. Even though, like, maybe you don't even want to continue trading for more wrapper value. You just want to make a profit and leave it at that. You would not be able to sell these items for Robux because of how little they get sold. So yeah, try to avoid these items. Look for these ones. High demand wrap items. So let's just say you run through with the trade. You find someone that is willing to take this item from you, give you good wrap items. So what happens? Well, originally you gave 4,000 wrap, or I did, right? So let's just say my situation here. I gave 4,000 wrap. I gained 3,000, right? I got 3,000. I lost 1,000 wrap. But then I traded it for 5,000. What does that leave me? I gain 1,000 value. So in that ordeal, or like in that process, I was able to gain 1,000 wrap in value. And then you repeat the process with your newly acquired items that are better than your last ones usually, since you gained stuff. So now I now have, instead of 4,000 worth of items, I now have 5,000 worth of wrap items. And you continue the process, ripping off wrap traders. And that's the whole thing. Let me show you some more examples. So this is another one that I did. So this is where things start to get a little bit more complicated. As you can see, I gave 6,000 worth of wrap, he gave 5,800, but this is worth 9,000. Now, I'm not gaining 3,000 value here, as if you're new you might see. These items right here are worth 2,000 wrap, sinister branches. This is worth 2,000 wrap, but 3,500 value. So if you add all this up, this is worth about 8,200 value, while this is worth 9,000. Now you're still gaining, I'm still gaining an 800 value thing here. I'm still getting 800 value here. So I complete the trade, I get the neon green here, and then I repeat the process. I find someone that trades value and has a lot of wrap items. I trade with them, I get rid of this, I get new wrap items, once again complete the process, keep going, and get more as it goes. This is my final example that I have here, and this is probably the best trade that I've done so far. So, radioactive beast mode. This is worth, as you can see, 9,000 wrap as when I did the trade. It might be different now, but the value of this item is 15,000. 15,000 value is quite a lot, at least I think so. And then these are the items I gave. So I gave 9,300 wrap, he gave 9,000. So this is worth, as I mentioned before, 3,500. This is once again worth 5,000, 3,500, and around the time that I'm doing this trade, this is worth around 1,100 or 1,200. So altogether, my entire trade here is worth 13,000 value, while his is worth 15,000. So when I completed this trade, I was able to earn 2,000 value, which is, once again, I think the best trade that I've completed so far. So 15,000 value gain. Then I use this value to trade with value traders to get wrap items, Once again, complete the process. Now, I don't usually do these types of trades that have very high items, or like very high value items, because what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to complete multiple trades in order to get wrap items back, since once you get above the 4,000 wrap range, that item usually has its own value. So that what that means is it's not going to be a wrap item anymore. It's going to have its own value, and so it's going to be a lot more tricky to pull stuff like this off. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do 2 or 3 trades in order to get this down into wrap items, which I would avoid. What I usually do is I would go for items such as these: Sinister Branches, Catching Snowflakes. I would go for Space Hair, maybe Adorite Antlers. These types of items that are under like 5,000 wrap. Like, these are the types of items that I usually go for when I'm doing this strategy. So, altogether, in 3 weeks, I was able to make this much wrap, as I mentioned. So, recapping all of this, you complete this entire process, and that's how you do stuff. Yeah. If you're still confused, I would recommend looking up some other like tutorials regarding trading, because this is just a strategy that I use. This is like very impractical because it's rather slow. Like, when it comes to this, I make it pretty slow. The only reason I made this much is because I know life, as I mentioned before. So, if you're looking to play it safe in trading, not take any risks, just make, your however much a month. This is the strategy that I would use, or the strategy that you would use. So that's it then. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, the basic stuff, leave a like. Maybe leave a comment if you don't like something that I said, or maybe something that I should correct. That's about it. Thanks for watching once again. Adios.